Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? How you all doing? Hello. There's a lot of you in the chat already. How we doing? Look, I've got an arm. I've got an arm for my microphone. I told you I'd do it. I told you, didn't I? I'm once again invested in the channel because you guys were suggesting some better options. I hope you're doing fantastically well. Morning on Ollie on tour. Hello, my friend. People talking about getting Jamie Vardy. Interesting. Buendia only 15 million. Buendia 25 million. A lot to talk about today over the weekend's football. And let's get on to it, shall we? Let's get all your comments in. Toby Holdway, how are you, Connor? I'm good, buddy. How are you? I hope you're doing fantastic. Well, if you are new, please subscribe to the channel. We had 400 subscribers last week. We are now on 2.8 thousand. So thank you so much for your support. It has been incredible. I didn't expect anything like this. As I said, I expected to be speaking to 10 people, and I've been absolutely fine with that. So yeah, here we go. This is your rumour mill. We're going live. I put it out on my Facebook page. Do you guys want to see me going live, or do you want the edited video? Everybody was wanting me to go live. So this is what I'm going to be doing from now on. We're going to be doing live streaming. We're going to be live streaming every single day, talking about the transfer updates, the rumours. Hello, everybody. Let's get on with it anyway. If you are a Villa fan, if you're a Norwich fan, and you're new to the channel, as I said, please hit subscribe. Guys, if you haven't liked the video, please do so. And let's get on with it, shall we? We'll take your comments in a little bit, guys, but let's get on with the day's rumour anyway. The rumours have been massive over the weekend. You might have been able to get them from different sources, but you're back with the boy, aren't you? You're back in full swing. I'm going to keep updating you every single day. So here we go. The first rumour that has been attributed to Leeds United on my list today. I've got a fair few on my list today, but is, as you guys have been talking about, Emi Buendia. Now, there is more rumours circulating now. Apparently, Leeds have made initial contact with Norwich about the acquisition of the Argentinian superstar. And is this going to be the start of something absolutely special if he's on his way to Ellen Road? The Pink 'Un, which is a Norwich sort of newspaper, digital platform, really reliable, really good. I read quite a bit of the Pink 'Un when it's attributed to Leeds. They're the ones who sort of spoke about the Howson and the Snodgrass news when they got sent from Leeds United to Norwich. But here we go. We have Emi Buendia. The Pink 'Un have reported Leeds United have made an inquiry for Norwich City midfielder Emi Buendia, according to a national newspaper. So obviously they're attributing that to a national newspaper, but for them to report it out, it is a big deal. And listen, I think, guys, this is going to be one of those things that's going to rumble on. Obviously, Leeds, we're looking at Tuesday, aren't we? We are looking at Tuesday. What's going to be going on? Are Leeds going to be going in for Watkins and Ben Rama? I think there's something there. I think there's definitely something there with regards to that. We're looking at Bottle Jobs FC, 15 million max, no more for Buendia. Buendia is a cam. Yes, you did speak about that beforehand. I saw your comment. And yeah, he is. He can play a cam, but he can play anywhere just behind that striker. He's actually played as a striker before. Speaking to Chris Reeve, guys, as well, the people who've tuned in to the videos at the weekend with Villa on Tour Max and with Chris Reeve from Talk Norwich City, have you enjoyed it? They've both got 5,000 views apiece, so thank you so much. That's that a lot of effort went into that, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. We've got the next instalment with the Sheffield United fan next Saturday to continue our little mini series. But yeah, Buendia, huge, absolutely huge. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I think, as I've just said, we're looking at the Ben Rama Watkins situation. So tomorrow we will know a little bit more. We will know a little bit more with regards to what's going on. And maybe that's the delay. Maybe that's the kit delay as well. You know, are Leeds sort of in contact with Watkins? Are Leeds in contact with Ben Rama if X, Y, and Z isn't happening? Stay tuned for that one, because that's definitely a big one. Rice still loving the new mic stand. Cheers, mate. That was that was an investment. But yeah, listen, as I've said to you beforehand, this is one of these things where if you guys want it, I'm going to try and get it to appease you, because, you know, I want to give it back. But anyway, number two on the rumour list, we have Matty Longstaff, the Ginger Ninja, the wonderful Newcastle player who, look, there he is scoring against Manchester United, I believe it is, at home. But a really good source as well, The Telegraph. You know, The Telegraph have reported some very good sources in the past. They're good for football rumours. I sometimes log onto their site as well to see what's going on alongside BBC Gossip and numerous sources, which I look on every single day to update you guys. But Leeds United are considering a move for Newcastle United midfielder Matty Longstaff. Now, Longstaff as a player, he's combative. He also plays in the centre midfield role. I don't know where he'd fit in, really. Whether or not, obviously, people saying that is true, that isn't true, I'm not really sure. Obviously, we don't know, but the Telegraph are very good with rumours. They've got some very reputable people working for them. I know that personally, obviously, work in freelance journalism. But normally they put out really credible things. So that wouldn't be a complete surprise to me. But it's a very interesting link. You know, he can play DM, can play CM, can't really play on any other roles, really. He's a bit of a utility man within that central role. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to replace Calvin? I think that there are a lot of rumours. Obviously, we'll come on to De Thomas in a bit, who is a central midfielder as well, who apparently Leeds United are interested in as well. And maybe Leeds are looking at that central role as well. Maybe someone, if Forshaw's not going to be back in time, maybe someone to slot in there. But as I've said on previous videos, I would be looking for a like-for-like replacement sort of click. You know, I think we need another click in there. Bit of creativity, bit of spark. When Click can't play every game, bang him in there. And I think we've got a little bit of a lack of depth in that role. So that would be very, very interesting. Whether or not we are actually going to go sort of for a midfielder. Max Sauray, loving the trim. Thank you, Max. So let's have a look through some of your comments. A lot of people saying they think that Brentford will win as well. Rich Bedford saying he will be a backup mid. I think so, but I mean, is he going to be wanting that at Leeds United? We'll have to wait and see because, it's a bizarre time at the minute. There are rumours flying absolutely everywhere. But if Matty Longstaff's coming in, he sort of would be fitting as a replacement player at Newcastle. So why would he come to Leeds to just be sat on the bench? It's very, very interesting. But let's get on to the next rumour, shall we? So the next one. And this is a bit of a strange one for me because if you read the article, Leeds want Danny Rose reunion as Bielsa eyes experience. Marcelo Bielsa has a budget of 45 million. And I kind of want to stop that there, really. And I'll flash that back up in a second for you guys to read the rest of that little article. But 45 million. Now, I've seen a lot of people turning around and saying, oh, no, 45 million. But 45 million is a decent amount of money for me. You know, we look at previous years, and as I spoke to a Sheffield United fan, and that will continue with the series as I keep speaking about next Saturday. And he was giving me a little bit of a verdict on the Leeds United squad, and it was a little bit of a different perspective from the Villa and the Norwich fan, which is what I wanted as a holistic mini-series. I wanted opinions from all of them. He turned around and he said that Leeds United are more like Sheffield United than we think. You know, and we just need marginal changes in key areas, a sprinkle of quality. So would 45 million get you that? That's the big question. Well, in this current coronavirus market, the pandemic where people are going for cheaper, I think it could get you a couple of very good players. And it depends whether or not Leeds are going out and looking for 5 or 6 for 20 million apiece, or whether or not we're looking at sort of 15 million for 2, potentially 3, if you're stretching that 45 million to a little bit more. But whether or not that's true or not, it's been doing the rounds, of course. Obviously, it's always taken with a pinch of salt. But if you just flash that back up again, Leeds want Rose reunion as Bielsa eyes experience. Danny Rose spent the second half of the season on loan at Newcastle, but will not be returning, with Steve Bruce looking to sign 2 new fullbacks. And obviously, Danny Rose would be available on a free. And as you can see on the second side there, Leeds have also inquired about attacking midfielder Emiliano Buendia, but Norwich want at least 25 million. We've also got their Bruges winger Emmanuel Davis, and Leeds have made an offer for Jonathan David at Genk, who we will get onto. But yeah, very interesting chat there, extremely interesting. And Danny Rose, would you take him on a free? Obviously, I don't know whether or not he would just fit into that role, being Bielsa, being Leeds United, being how we are nowadays. I don't think Danny Rose would automatically slot in there, but it's going to be extremely interesting to see whether or not Leeds do go for that. A free agent, someone probably on high wages, but someone who knows the area, knows the club, and would that be a little bit of Premier League experience that we're all talking about? We've all spoken about Milner, we've seen stuff about Delph, but Danny Rose on a free, would we take it? Get it in the comment section below. Callum Wilson, some people are talking about as well. Yeah, a lot of people saying F Danny Rose and all this sort of stuff. Listen, I can completely understand it. I really do. I really do. Joe Wademan, hello, mate. No way, man. The guy's huge. Yeah, which I can completely understand as well. Ben Bottomley, aren't we in for Florenzi? Yeah, we'll get onto that in a second, buddy. But yeah, it's going to be a very controversial chat with Danny Rose because, is he going to be able to fit into that Bielsa system, or would you just have him in there as a little bit of experience? But would he be wanting to play week in, week out? It reminds me a little bit of that Mika Richards trajectory when Mika Richards sort of finished his time in England, went over to Fiorentina. That's where I can see the sort of destination for someone like Danny Rose. Leeds United, new team, fitness regime through the roof, going into the Premier League. It's a bit of a controversial one, isn't it? And I don't know whether or not that would happen. But the next rumour as well is De Thomas, a Spaniel centre forward. And I have seen as well there that he can play central midfield, bit of a versatility man. But Raul De Thomas, Leeds are interested in him. The boot room, Zidane as well there, as you can see, a big fan of United transfer target Raul De Thomas. Spanish press saying Horta wants Leeds raid for a Spaniel striker, De Thomas. So whether or not that's going to be a goer for Leeds, that is another one on the rumour mill. That pretty much signifies the rumour mill, to be quite frank, because we've not heard of this name before the weekend, have we? Leeds are now interested with him. A big striker, can hold the ball up. Whether or not he's going to be able to fit into this side straight away seamlessly. But the Spanish connection is something that I want to touch on. It's going to be very interesting to see whether or not Leeds go down that route. From years gone by, I still don't think we've thoroughly replaced Samuel Saiz. We had Pablo there at the time. Samuel Saiz obviously moved on, but his quality, his creative nature is something that I don't think Leeds have properly replaced. And whether or not we can do that at some point, I'd love to be able to do that this year with maybe a Buendia, maybe an Eze, maybe a Ben Rama, whatever, if Ben Rama can sort of make moves in the central attacking midfield role, not always out wide. That will be very, very interesting. But the Spanish connection is always going to be there with Victor Horta. Apparently, we've got tons of scouts in Spain. So that is definitely something to keep your eye on. And obviously, we move on to the man now, Ben Rama. Saeed Ben Rama, Chelsea and Leeds set to go to war over summer transfer. Brentford sensation Saeed Ben Rama. Paper talk leads to rival Chelsea for star high on Frank Lampard's transfer radar. We can all see it, can't we? We know he's a Premier League player. He will not be at Brentford next year if they don't get promoted. I personally think Brentford are going to steamroll Fulham tomorrow. I genuinely do. I just think they're going to be too good for them. I don't think Scott Parker is going to be able to tactically outclass a team like Brentford, who have been on a bit of a mission, haven't they? And they really impressed me against Swansea. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. Fulham were a bit lacklustre against Cardiff at home. So as I said, we'll have to wait and see. But that's massive implications for Leeds United. What happens in that game? Huge implications, because I think that is why Leeds are waiting. Leeds are continuously waiting and waiting and waiting. There's not that much fundamental transfer activity going on right now. And is that because Leeds are sort of waiting to see what happens on Tuesday? I firmly believe so. I firmly think Ollie Watkins, an £18 million release clause is something Leeds are looking into. And why wouldn't you? What a player, what a talent, what a man who could step into that Premier League mould instantaneously. So yeah, Ben Rama as well. We're going to face competition if they stay in the division for Ben Rama. Of course, I mean, Chelsea, what sort of a competition that's going to be. Will Ben Rama want to stay in London, or will he want to come play for Bielsa's outfit at Leeds United, which is obviously a massive attraction? But London, as we know, with every single player in the Premier League, that is that they want to be in London, which is a very frustrating aspect of it. But we have now got tangible factors that can bring players to Leeds United in Marcelo Bielsa, the ownership, One City Club, etc., etc. So let's move on to the next rumour. A lot of people talking about Mitrovic as well. Craig Faircloth, a friend of the channel, would you prefer Mitrovic? I think he's a bit more of a beast than Ollie under Bielsa. Listen, I think Mitrovic would be very good under Bielsa. A lot of people saying that he doesn't work hard, he's a bit fat, all this sort of stuff. I think Mitrovic would work. We've seen all the players in this Leeds United side change around under Bielsa. Imagine what he could do with Mitrovic. QSI links are back. Leeds, Bremner, 61. I've not seen a lot of it. I've seen more of I was going to say 69ers then. The 49ers links. They seem to want to increase the stake in Leeds United, which is absolutely fine by me. A lot of people disappointed. Listen, guys, they're a global brand. They have a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. So listen, if they have to increase the stake, they have to increase the stake. They want 20, they want 25%. They're going to have to front the money up, which is only going to help us in the transfer market. A lot of people talking about Samuel Saiz as well. Saiz was slick. I presume that means Matt, not silk. Pity about the attitude. Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look. Yeah, a lot of people as well turning around and saying Rose and Delph too old, which I can completely understand. Mitrovic maybe like a Janssen with ego. That's another really, really good point. But let's get on to the next rumour, shall we? So now we move on as well to Emmanuel Dennis. Now, I've got in contact with Get French Football News, who I've spoken to before on my Instagram story as well. I'm looking for them to get me a player profile on Emmanuel Dennis, which I will release on the Info Swing YouTube channel. I've got a bit of a good relationship with them. Aidan's a good lad. So Inter Milan and Leeds United in talks for Emmanuel Dennis, Club Bruges. Leeds must land Club Bruges style Emmanuel Dennis. And there's a report there saying Atalanta added to clubs keen on Emmanuel Dennis. Blades were linked with him as well. So, yeah, another player who Leeds will link with, a winger who can play up top as well. Very versatile, can play. That is the key word with Leeds United. It's versatility. That is what we want in every player that we can get. Because, listen, if we've got a small squad, if Bielsa wants that small squad, versatility is absolutely crucial for whether or not they can play along the line, whether or not they can play maybe in a more defensive role. The work rate has to be through the roof. They have to be tenacious. So all these attributes are similar attributes to every single target we are seeing Leeds put with, whether or not it's a centre forward, a centre mid, a goalkeeper, a left back, a right back. Leeds have an attribute list. We have an attribute list. You can see that with every single player that we are linked with. You go have a look at them. Oh, interesting. They are this, they are that. People say this, that, and the other about them. Emmanuel Dennis fits the profile of a Jack Harrison, worked hard, youngster, has got to where he has done by pure sort of dynamism, and he is where he is, and he's waiting for a transfer now, and a transfer to a Premier League club. He wants to play in the Premier League. He said that he wants to play in the Premier League, similar to Jonathan David, but obviously the clouds are a little bit mixed there. We don't really know what's going on with Jonathan David. Rumours here that he wants to go to Germany, rumours there that he wants to play for Lille, rumours there that he wants to play in the Premier League. So Leeds United are going to be the driving force in that sort of one. So we'll have to wait and see. Russ Vernon saying there, some breaking news. Connor Charlie Allen's move from Linfield to Leeds expected to go through this week. Another youngster there who Leeds are getting over from Ireland there. So that's a good move for Leeds. We don't know what he's going to be like, but once again, the youngsters, Leeds are continuously trying to get those products in, continuously trying to bolster the youth, which is fantastic news. And hopefully we will find an absolute rumour where we're going to get excited about something that is going to be concrete, something that is going to be laying the foundations for Leeds United going forward. But let's get on to the next rumour. What have we got coming on now? And guys, as well, if you haven't as well, there is 380 of you watching now, which is incredible. 17 minutes gone. I've got a few more rumours for you, so please like the video as well. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. That would be absolutely amazing. We're on the march to 3K. But anyway, let's have a look at what's going on for the rest of the rumour mill. So Isla and Bravo as well. Claudio Bravo and Maurizio Isla are looking forward. They were looking forward to coming to Leeds. That was on a lot of other sort of outlets as well. Apparently they were interested in the move, and Leeds were interested in the move as well. I wonder if they'd have just been sort of utility men. Obviously Claudio Bravo, I don't know whether or not he would fit in seamlessly straight away, or not whether or not he would be sort of on the bench and Meslier would be the number one keeper. We'll have to wait and figure out what is in the plans of Marcelo Bielsa. Isla obviously has played for QPR as well, and that sort of is the Premier League experience, the Chilean. But Bravo, we know all about Claudio Bravo, obviously the Man City links there. But obviously the end bit there, Cooperativa saying at the end that Leeds are looking forward to retaining Marcelo Bielsa, which I know a lot of people are sort of questioning that and thinking, well, are we going to be able to get Bielsa? Are we going to be able to get him over the line? It's definitely happening, guys. Otherwise, we wouldn't be making these connections with, for example, Norwich. We wouldn't be looking at Ben Rama and Watkins, which I thoroughly believe that we are doing. As Turnt Paul just said then, is Bielsa signing? I thoroughly believe so, mate. I thoroughly believe we are getting Marcelo Bielsa. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been at Goodison. He wouldn't have been doing X, Y, and Z. So that it's just. Otherwise, we wouldn't have heard anything from him, would we? And there's no smoke without fire, as I always like to say. But that's an interesting one. Whether or not that's going to come to the fore, I'm not 100% sure. But as I said, Isla and Bravo, it looks like they're ruled out, and Leeds United are looking at other targets. Now, something which I know has been spoken about by numerous people this weekend is it's once again Lille and the summer of all records, as you can see there, after breaking his record sale with Osimhen, which is the Nigerian striker. It looks like he's going to Napoli. The LOSC, which is Lille, could break that of its purchases with the striker of Jonathan David at 27.5 million. Now, to be honest, guys, I do think this one's going to go through. I do think that they're going to get their man. It looks like Lille are on a little bit of an upward trajectory when it comes to just financial boosts. It looks like they're going forward with absolute power and might, in that financial market. So whether or not they're going to be a little bit of a force with the future to come, if you're getting 81 million in, if you reinvest that well, you can sort of make sellable assets that are going to be even higher. If you're going to sell on to Jonathan David in a couple of years' time, if he has a good year at Lille or a good couple of years at Lille, he could then be selling for a lot more. It is just the way of the market. And if Lille can put that cash into really good players and they can increase the value of those players, that's going to be only exponentially better for that club. So whether or not they're going to go and splash the cash, I've heard a lot of rumours that they're off for two or three big players, including Jonathan David, who seems to have his heart set on Lille. I don't know what it is exactly, but we are always seeing publications where it's turning around and saying he wants to play for Lille. He has connections at Lille. He wants to be closer to home. So whether or not that is something that is going to be, validated in the next sort of couple of days, we don't know. But I don't see Jonathan David moving to Leeds. I saw a lot of positive talk a while ago of him coming to Leeds, why he's going to be coming to Leeds, X, Y, and Z. But now it seems to be that he's really looking forward to that Lille move. So we're going to have to keep working and looking on that. But it's flogging a dead horse, I think, for Leeds. I mean, we're going to stay there till the bitter end, but it's disappointing, of course it is, but let me just take a swig of coffee, guys. You get dry mouth doing this, especially with how quick I talk. But yeah, so Jonathan David, I still think it's going to be one of those which is going to be a dead rubber, which is a real shame. But what can you do? Leeds are going to stay there till the end. A lot of people talking about selling Kike. It's a very controversial topic. It's a very controversial topic. Leeds United again saying there, are we selling Kike? Now, I don't want to it splits opinion. Now, I know it splits opinion, and this is why I hate saying it. This channel, I'm trying to be neutral with regards to interviews, with regards to my opinions and stuff like that. But of course, I understand that people are bombarding the comments with should Leeds sell Kike. I personally, if I'm to come out of that neutral mold, I personally would sell Kike. I think there's better keepers out there. Obviously, with everything that's gone on as well, I don't think it's good for the club PR wise. Going into the Premier League, having all the eyes of the world on us and having Kike in net. I don't know whether or not that's going to be a bad publicity move for Leeds United. I've no idea. Listen, I don't know the ins and outs of the club. I'm sure James Mooney, etc., the PR and the communications team will know whether or not that's going to be a bad thing for Leeds. I don't know. I would say it would be a bad thing, but I don't know the ins and outs of what goes on at Leeds United. Maybe Bielsa sees him in his plans. If you're to ask me my personal opinion, I don't think Kike is good enough. I don't think he cut the grade at the Championship. If we're looking at football inability, which I think you should, take everything else out of it. If you're just if you're just sort of raw and you look at the football inability, I don't personally think he's good enough. I think too many mistakes, and we cannot afford to concede goals in the Premier League because we'll be punished. There's too much quality up there. Let's say hypothetically it's 0-0. You can say this for any player, but we've seen the hallmarks with Kike. If it's 88 minutes have gone at Ellen Road and we're 0-0 with the champions, Liverpool, touch wood, how incredible will that be? And then he makes a mistake, which you could say for any player. But what I'm trying to say is there's been blueprint with Kike for many months now. So that is going to be a contentious mark. And would you not rather get a sturdy keeper in who really can keep Leeds afloat? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But let's get on to the other rumours that have been confirmed and we're looking at. Now, Wigan's Joe Gelhardt is on the verge of joining Leeds. The 18-year-old forward is close to sealing a $1 million switch to Leeds after also attracting interest from Everton and Leicester. Gelhardt made 18 appearances in the Championship for the Latics this term, and that's from the Liverpool Echo, a very reputable source, something very similar to the Yorkshire Evening Post, the Sheffield Star, etc., etc. So you've got to take that, and I think Leeds are going to be moving a lot with Joe Gelhardt. I think that is going to be something that's going to be done. I think it could be done this week. I saw a publication online saying that the reason it hasn't properly been finalised, etc., yet was because of everything that's going on at Wigan at this moment in time. They've lost Paul Cook. Looks like McGurk as well. McGurk, who we're after, is attracting interest from Brighton as well. Weir has moved to Brighton as well, which is, they've got this facility of kids who are absolutely brilliant at Wigan, apparently, from what I've read and what I've been told. So they're getting picked off. I saw a Wigan fan calling us vultures. But you know what, guys? Happened to us, didn't it? Happened to us with Lennon, happened to us with Milner, happened to us with Smith. It happened to us with all our kids back then. They used to get picked off, and that's just the world of football, unfortunately. That is just how it is. That's life. Your assets are going to get sold on if you're not doing as well. That is just life. That happens in business. That happens everywhere, doesn't it? So I apologise, Wigan fans, for that, but that's the way of the world. So it'll be really interesting, though. Joe Gelhardt attracting interest from everywhere. So it would be a real coup, as Phil Hay says, as Graham Smythe says, if Leeds can get him over the line, especially for $1 million. This has happened too many times to Leeds United, selling players for $1 million, selling players for 500k, letting them go. And it's nice to see the shoe on the other foot for the first time in 2 decades, really. But what a player. Apparently, we've heard he's a cracking player. His substitute appearances, he comes on, seems to make the difference. Reminds me a little bit of the Jack Clark for the first 6 months for Leeds last season. So keep an eye on that one. Guys, as well, I know Harvey Williams there, only just tuned in. What is the big boost? I'll tell you at the end, mate. It's a big boost transfer-wise for our number 1 priority. So keep tuned. Make sure you're liking the video as well, guys. Stay subscribed. A Sean Wiseman as well. A lot of people turning around and asking me who this individual is. Well, Sean Wiseman is a player in the Austrian league. The Israeli has got 30 goals in 31 appearances. Now, we're talking about Jamie Vardy. We'll talk about Jermaine Beckford in the lower leagues, and when they're in non-league, that is the same sort of rate. And this guy is doing it for Wolfsberger AC. So he's doing it in the Austrian league. This is where Gerhard Struber came from, obviously the Barnsley manager, and they've got a few players from there. But Sean Wiseman, that I don't know whether or not that's going to be ruled out, but he's the reports are saying he's a terrific young player and absolute goal machine. But apparently he's on Galatasaray's agenda and will not train with Wolfsburg, which tells you once again, in the attacking sense, are Leeds sort of waiting for the Watkins? Are Leeds sort of waiting for another striker? Definitely. I think that is something that Leeds are doing, because someone like Sean Wiseman is definitely something that Leeds will be looking at. We saw this on the Phil Hay article on The Athletic. Sean Wiseman is one of Leeds' targets. So whether or not we're just holding fire, waiting back and just seeing whether or not Watkins is going to become available after Tuesday is going to be very, very interesting indeed, and something that I thoroughly believe is going to be the way Leeds are going to go about this. As I've said numerous times in this video, I think we're going to be waiting, we're going to be watching, and we're going to be seeing. The next rumour to come out is obviously Ronan Curtis. A lot of people have talked about Ronan Curtis, and the reason being is because of Phil Hay's article. Now, Ronan Curtis, 11 goals, 5 assists in 33 matches, was absolutely vital in Pompey's playoff push. As you can see there, he's a creative winger who works hard at the back too. Reasonable price for Pompey, but it's there again. The attributes, once again, a creative winger, works hard. It's not difficult, is it, guys? The Leeds United blueprint is there. You work hard, you're technically gifted, we're interested in you. You've got the right attitude, we're interested in you. You're ambitious, we're interested in you. So always keep an eye out for things like that, because things are going to be coming to the fore very, very quickly, I think, from numerous players, numerous clubs. And I think Ronan Curtis will be a really, really shrewd acquisition. Once again, we'll relate to Jermaine Beckford again. A lot of people talking about League One. Can you make that transition to the Premier League? Jermaine Beckford near on did that for Leeds when he moved to Everton. Obviously, he was part of the Championship outfit, but it was that summer month that he moved to Everton. So League One to the Premier League. Listen, if you're good enough, you can make the transition. So that's a really interesting one. Yeah, so a lot of people talking about the kits as well. Nothing yet, my friend, I don't think, which has been very, very interesting. A lot of slow burners there with the kit. Once again, I keep saying it, but is that fitting into whatever Brentford do? I don't know, but, if there's been something there, so if there's been talks there, what would we want to, sort of reveal the kit with one of those lads in it? I don't know. There's a lot of talk about that on the internet, so we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the new kit, interesting. But a lot of people as well talking about Edouard. I do agree with the AGR gamer there. I think he would cost too much. There are going to be big clubs in for that lad as well. A real quality player. I think got hat-trick at the weekend as well. So let's move on to the next rumor, shall we? Who have we got next? So we have got the man who we want to talk about more than ever, really, don't we? It is Ben White. And Whether or not this is Leeds fans putting more bets and more bets and more bets on this individual, I have no idea. But 2-1 favourites on signing Ben White. Obviously, you can see Thiago Almada there in the background. But this is a Leeds United live article on Ben White. And Leeds seem to be the favourites for it, 2-1. I mean, that is incredible odds, as I'm sure a lot of you betting lads do know. That is a huge development. And he was something else the other day. I believe it was 4-5-1, but now 2-1. So, sometimes there are inside knowledge people at betting companies. I used to work for a betting company myself. Obviously, it works completely on the bets that are coming in, and that's where you lower the odds. But at the same time, there are people on the inside who know things. Trust in that. Trust me. But this is another development on the Ben White story as well. Something I picked up online. Brighton chairman, I believe, I don't know if his name's Bloom. I can't quite remember. Maybe I'm just thinking about Benjamin Bloom there, which I do frequently. Sorry if you're watching, Ben. But there was a bit of an article on The Athletic talking about the Brighton problem that they have at this moment in time. Now, what we did, we made it relevant to us, and we've made a few concise points here. Brighton made a loss last year and are bracing for a record loss this year. They've lost a huge amounts of income due to broadcast repayments and their top 4 fixtures being behind closed doors. Bearing in mind, guys, this is an Athletic article with their chairman, or I believe with their sporting director or their manager, Graham Potter. It was someone high up. I doubt it was Graham Potter, but it was someone high up at the club. They've brought in a lot of players and haven't sold many. And you've seen that with Brighton, with the likes of Morpay, with the likes of Webster, who combined total, their championship players who've moved up to the Premier League, made that transition. That's 50 million just on those two. And apparently, look at that, in quotes, that will change. They have too many centre-backs, and spending will depend on who they move on. Obviously, they've moved in as well Joel Veltman, which was the big signing. Duffy, Dunk and White named as likely to attract attention. Decisions on outgoings are not solely in Potter's hands. So that's really interesting, because obviously Potter's coming out and saying they're not interested. We're going to be keeping Ben White. He's part of my plans, etc., etc. But it's not down to him. And that is what a lot of people are failing to understand. It's not down to Potter. It's down to the hierarchy. We've seen that before with Leeds. The club was ineligible for government support due to historic losses, which is huge, and various infrastructure projects, including stadium expansion, on hold. Now, take all that together. Now, I have a lot of Brighton fans coming on my video and saying, ha, you're not getting Ben White, all this sort of stuff. But this is an Athletic article published by higher ups there at Brighton, which is absolutely massive. Massive monetary issues at Brighton. There are big issues. Someone said to me, we're not a selling club. You bang on, but you're not sustainable then. You cannot be a club in the Premier League if you are not selling players, selling assets. You can't just recruit. We saw that with the Leeds era when we went down, when we bought Seth Johnson, bought Rio Ferdinand for those ridiculous fees and kept them on. You can't do that. So if you get in a club like Leeds United coming in and going, bang, there you go, 25 million. Maybe Leeds are playing hardball. Maybe Leeds know all these factors, and we're waiting to see how low we can get the price. Because as I illustrated earlier, if it is only 45 million that Leeds have got, we can drive a hard bargain. We can do that now. We've got an attractive club now, worth 300 million now from what it was, a couple of years ago, 30, 40 million. We're a massive club, again, being in the Premier League. The eyes will be on Leeds United. People will want us to fail, but people adore us as well. It's one of those things, and you can tell Ben White wants to come back. He misses his time at Leeds, and whether or not Leeds can get that over the line, I don't know. But there are so many signs there. They can sell Duffy, but Duffy's not going to go for a large price. You can't recruit players like I've just illustrated and then just sell Duffy. Duffy's not going to attract a big price, is he? 5-10 million in this current economic climate, max? And you've got Leeds putting down 25 million for Ben White, and you're telling me Brighton are going to reject that with 5-6 centre-backs? They've stayed up this year. They've finished 16th. They've done well without Ben White. You look at a club like Brighton. It's all about sustainability in the Premier League. It's all about staying in the Premier League for as long as you can, building a philosophy, building an ethos, building some values. They've only had Potter a year. If they can build on that, Brighton are going to become a very good club. And they are a very good club, very well-run club. But you've also got to measure, your expenditure has to measure your input, surely. As we talk about earlier, business. especially in these current economic times. You have to measure that up. That has to level up. You can't just keep recruiting players, income, because that's going to dry out. Very, very interesting news for me. Huge, interesting. Big, interesting news for Leeds United. A lot of people, maybe it's not a direct link, but big boost. A big boost, surely. A lot of people turning around and saying Brighton don't have problems, this, that, and that. I put out a video midweek, I'd heard something about Brighton and people turning around saying, no, they're not. We're fine. Brighton fans especially, this joker, all this sort of stuff. I'm just giving my opinion, but, I'm reflecting that off an Athletic article, interviewing someone who is at the top of the club, so Brighton club. So a lot of big things being pointed out there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Big deals there at Brighton. Let's move on to the next rumour, shall we? Right, what have we got next? I believe it is so we have William Carvalhal as well. Portugal international tipped for Ellen Road switch. William Carvalhal was expected to leave Real Betis this summer, and Leeds have been cited as a potential destination alongside Tottenham Hotspur and Leicester City. Once again, guys, a very sort of flimsy link, really. We don't really know what is going on there. We're linked to Florentino Luis, or Luis Florentino, as a lot of people see him as. Last week, obviously, that's probably not got legs anymore, and that's why I didn't really want to cover that one, to be quite frank. But this one is a big one. It is a big one. William Carvalho interested in Arsenal. There were movements with Arsenal as well last year. So if we can get that over the line, he's only a youngster, that'd be a massive signing. But once again, is it what we need? A defensive midfielder. This is a lot where a lot of the rumours are coming from. Defensive midfielders, which I find very, very interesting. Whether or not that's fabricated, whether or not it's complete waffle, which it could be. This is called the rumour mill. It's all rumours, guys. Please don't get angry at me for picking rumours out and seeing whether or not they're going to be validated or not. We have to wait and see with that one. But let's have a look what a lot of people are talking about as well. People talking about a goalkeeper as well, etc. And that's going to be an interesting link as well, guys. But listen, this has been a 36-minute video. I'm going to end it there, guys, because obviously I want you guys to watch it back and see what I've said concisely. I'm going to leave you on this, guys. Ben White, for me, is coming. I'm telling you, he's coming. But I hope all of you have enjoyed this. There's 500 people watching now. If you could slap a like on the video, that would be tremendous. And obviously, 500, if there are people who've just joined, this stream will be up in a couple of minutes when it's processed. Go back and you can press play and watch it all again for absolutely free. As I say, guys, this has been the Rumour Mill. We will be back tomorrow morning. As you can see here, this is the watch time from my subscribers. There are 65% of you not subscribed and only 34.8 who are. Please do me an absolute solid. Hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. The notification bell will notify you anytime I upload anything like this. Listen, have an absolutely unbelievable day. And I hope you have a cracking rest of the week as well. Monday it started well. I think Leeds are going to get some things underway. I genuinely do. A lot of people saying just stay. Guys, listen, we've got to wrap it up. I'm trying to keep these concise and trying to keep them just solidified there so you can have a watch of them. Listen, as I said, if you just joined, go back, have a play, watch it all again. Guys, have a cracking one. I'll see you tomorrow. See you later.